Doesn't matter who you are, 'cause baby you're a star. Even though we're different, we share common ground. Doesn't matter who you are, trans, 'cause baby you're a star. Even though we're different, non-binary, we share common ground. Bisexual, trans, gay, bi, straight, cis, non-binary.
What I know is that I'm gonna squeeze you guys so much. I'm gonna squeeze you guys. I swear.
Personal space, Des, like.
You can squeeze me anytime. You can squeeze me anytime.
No matter who you are, trans, 'cause baby you're a star. Even though we're different, we share.
What's going on, guys? My name is Daquan.
I'm Desiree.
I'm Manny.
I'm Anton.
And I'm Josh.
And this is The Common Grounds.
Religious or non-believing, rich or poor.
What's up, guys? My name is Daquan Selwyn, and this is The Common Grounds. Here with me as my hosts, I have Desiree, I have Emmanuel, I have Josh, and I have Antoine, and we are called The Common Grounds.
Our first episode.
Let's do it.
Yes. Okay, so I'm pretty sure everybody's wondering why the name is The Common Grounds, how that come about this show. So I'm going to be honest, it's kind of corny, but I love Wendy Williams, and I love the Red Table Talk. So I said, you know what, let me combine two shows into one, and let me put a little spin on it where I include people from the LGBT plus community, and that's how we came about The Common Grounds. So it's for everybody. I want it to be about for family, our community, just anybody. I want people to relate and just enjoy our show. And we're going to talk about current topic that's currently happening now in life. And we're going to talk a little bit about, our kinky and fun stuff about the LGBT community. So,
Let's do it.
Yes.
So, guys, we have a new president.
Yeah.
How do y'all know about that?
Yes.
And our first female vice president, first black woman vice president, Kamala Harris.
And also Indian, so props to the
Dude, props.
Asian American
There
community.
you go. Hey. So you guys
I'm more proud of. I mean, I like Biden, but I'm more proud that we have a female vice president. I think that's amazing, and she's African American, and it's the first female black vice president. So that's what I'm excited about.
That's such an important thing, especially in the times of now, the Black Lives Matter. So now they have a vice president female in office, and that's exciting. That's really exciting and empowering.
I feel like it was more about like Trump leaving office than like Biden coming in. Everybody was just like, Trump is gone.
Stop the votes!
It was,
But I think
it was a mood.
But it
But
also
you know
brings
what?
us
I
like
had
some
a big
stability
feeling.
back.
I had a big feeling Trump was going to win.
Really?
Yes, I had this.
People were
I
ready
just
for
had this
change.
feeling. Huh?
I really thought people were ready for change. I thought he had the smallest chance of winning, really.
See, I agree. I'm ready for change too, but like, and everyone was ready for change, but like, for some reason, no one expected Trump to win in the beginning.
That's true.
4 years ago. That's why I was like, oh shit, maybe he's going to win this time, because no one expected him to win last time. I mean, yeah.
I know when he started pulling out the tantrums of stopping the votes and the votes weren't counted. I mean, he's condemning the same system that 2016 gave him the presidency. So once I started seeing the tantrums, I was like, oh, he's going to lose. And he was
2020.
I was like, I knew he was going to lose because he was just acting like really like a baby, honestly.
He was literally on Twitter claiming Pennsylvania. No, this isn't 1492 and you're saying you discovered America. Like,
well, now he's going to sue for the presidency, right?
oh, let him.
And mind you, if you want to be totally honest, Columbus did not even discover America. But
That's why I said
That's a whole nother. That's
a whole topic for another day.
A whole history topic for another day. But today's topic is curiosity.
Yeah,
I feel like
curious about.
Curious.
and we're supposed to have a special guest. I'm looking. I'll see what it is.
Is it Wendy Williams? Because you mentioned Wendy Williams.
Girl, if you said one day, when was this coming? I would have got better dressed up.
When it comes to the word
Sorry.
curiosity in the LGBTQ community, and then some, it is a huge word because everybody's curious. You know,
Exactly.
everybody has a question in mind of why this, why that, what's this, what's that. So I'm so curious to see, have you guys been asked any particular questions when you guys came out as part of the community?
Yes, several.
Oh my God.
Being bisexual, people would be like, "So, which one do you like more?" Or, like, does that mean that like you aren't satisfied by like either a man or a woman? I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I got the whole question of is gay
like,
sexual or is gay emotional? So I got that whole question.
Wait, what?
I got the question of is gay sexual or is gay emotional? Like, are you just...
Is it just a physical attraction or is it an emotional attraction?
Like, how will we... I don't know how to answer that. Like, what?
Remember, we live.
We're curious about when you tell them you know.
Remember, we live in a society where people think that the world is flat. So,
I get, so would you get stuff done? I get that all the time.
Wow, do you get that done? Okay.
Oh,
Would you get this done? Would you get surgeries? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, you don't have to get surgeries to feel that way, I guess.
Yeah, I guess women get asked that all the time too about surgeries, Anton.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, it's always, would you do this? Would you do that? Would you do liposuction? Would you do plastic? Would you put this on you? So like, it's a big thing, plastic surgery now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people use that idea. People use this idea of like curiosity as a way to kind of devalue your sexuality in a way, or at least somebody who was trying to come out and be who I was. And people were like, "Oh, you're just curious, so it's just a phase," or like you're just trying to figure yourself out, but you're gonna come back. Or even if I was trying to be with a man, they were like, "Oh, it's just a thing. You'll be back." And a girl is the ultimate goal, right? I know you're gonna be back, and it was always so interesting. But I think people use curiosity to devalue it or your journey in a way.
I'm really curious what's so hard for a person to accept that another person likes having emotions and relationships and sexual contact with a person of their same sex. Like, what's so hard for you to understand that? Like, I'm curious about that.
Yes, can we talk about that? Because thank you. I'm happy you asked that because I don't understand people. I don't get it.
I just think like our society program is such a conspiracy theory term, but like I really think that like we've been normalized, programmed to believe that a hetero relationship is the common relationship, is the relationship that we should all be in, that we should be a man and woman, we should be trying to have families, kids, because that's what from the beginning of time we've been told that's supposed to be what we're supposed to be doing.
That's what society taught us.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think since society taught us that, nobody can really wrap their head around the fact that, people are different. Like we don't just come all in the same shape, sizes, colors, orientations. Since they can't, get their head out of that box, they're like, how is it even possible?
Yeah,
it's really hard. Society is people, and people evolve all the time. Who you were 6 months ago is not who you are today. And so I don't understand how people can't evolve around that idea. Like, especially if you're not going to be sleeping with me, why are you worried about who I'm sleeping with?
Exactly.
Like why does that bother you?
Well, to have their opinion on your business all the time. And I've realized that early on is that you got to sometimes, hold your stuff back a little bit because folks, they put their opinion and they want you to change your mind based off their experiences and their values. And I think you got to be like, it's a real battle to be strong and make sure that they realize like, no, this is it. It's not an option. It's what I am. It's who I am.
I think it's also so many categories of sexuality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even self-identity. Some people just are non-binary now.
Yeah.
So, I think that's definitely a change for people is the categorization of sexuality, right?
Okay, so I don't want to cut the conversation short, but our guest is here, and we're gonna continue this conversation when Steve is here. So let me bring him in.
Okay.
Let me bring him in, and then we're gonna start to him about
Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams.
Oh, so
Hey.
I'm gonna introduce everybody to Christian. Christian is an artist. He does music, he models, and he has his own podcast as well called I'm sorry if I said wrong. Is it called Naked and Coffee? Correct? Yes? No? Maybe so?
I think he's trying to get his audio correct.
Yeah, it says connecting to the audio.
Well, until we start that intro.
Hey everybody!
Hi.
Hey.
Hola.
Late.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm old. I don't really know how to use this thing.
No, I'm trying to.
It's okay. Welcome to my first episode. You are my first guest for the Common Ground. And this is my my cast. And today's topic is about curiosity. I know that you are definitely down for that because we spoke about that on
Curiosity.
your podcast.
Curiosity
Yes.
kills it might get y'all some.
Well, we talked about it on your podcast. So I mean, a little bit about it. So we can talk a little bit more about it today. Yeah.
I'm an open book. Ask
Yeah,
away.
exactly. If you want anything, has anybody asked you any crazy questions or
Any questions that you guys want to ask? I mean, do you want me to go ahead and you already introduced me? Because I couldn't hear.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, let's hear more about you.
Okay, so my name is Christian Paige with an X. I'm born and raised in North Carolina, where I have been singing all my life. I've been modeling for over 15 years, and I've been hosting and event coordinating and promoting shit for over the same amount of time. That's about it. Now I can sing out right now. Y'all want me to say something?
So how are you a member of the LGBTQ community? How do you identify yourself?
I am gay as fuck.
That's it.
I know as a bottom in the community.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, so you're a bottom. Okay. Come on.
No. I'm a tatum. Okay, there's a difference.
What is that? What is that?
Explain that.
Explain that.
What's the
Please,
top?
please.
Yeah,
What's
well,
a
no,
top?
obviously I know what a top is and I know what a bottom is. I don't know which just feels better, but
Is that like a verse? Like, is that just a?
So most people think that I'm a top when they first meet me, for some apparent reason. Even when I had blonde hair, they thought I was a top. So all the tops up here don't like me because I'm not feminine enough. And when I go down south, all the tops down south think I'm too, too whatever it is. The flip side. So someone told me, you know what? I found out there's this word called tatum, that puts both the top and bottom together. And
you can say either role. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. So actually, people since people think you're a top, take off the B and put the T.
Okay.
Got it.
Heard it.
No. Okay.
Heard it.
Okay, so is that
I
something
never heard it.
you have to? Is that something you have to specify when you meet a person to say, "Hey, listen, I like to be a top or I like to be a bottom"? Is that something that has to be specified?
I like to look like a top, but I'm a 100% bottom. So I may look like a top, but I don't want to fuck you.
But what is a top supposed to look like?
Bottom trainers.
That's what people think.
If you could tell me what they're supposed to look like, I would appreciate that because
Well, that's when
Wait a minute, I got a bigger question
when
here.
society comes in. And
Sexually,
society's the ones that are like, society thinks that tops look like masculine and
Right.
bottoms only look feminine when you can be
I can see
either
that.
or.
I can see that. But I have a question for you sexually, okay? Sexually, so that means that when you're a bottom, you only get it, like you don't give it?
hell no.
No, bottom means you're taking it.
I touch my.
It's curious, so I'm curious.
I do touch my
I mean,
dick.
I can relate because I go through the same thing where people think I'm a bottom and I'm actually a top.
I thought you was the bottom.
So I get a top. He definitely did, and I am a full top. Listen, I get paid to look pretty. I keep telling people that. Violence does not define what I do. Okay, just because I look pretty in a picture does not mean that I take dick.
Well, I mean, pretty phrase because it's pretty. Don't mean I won't fuck you up. However,
That's all. But I'm just saying, people
I
want
don't.
to
I
go
don't like.
based off
I
illusions.
I used to be a top, or I used to be a straight male. I guess you say. If that's a thing. I used to be straight. I had sex with a lot of women when I was in like high school and college, and then I stopped sleeping with women altogether. I really know why I stopped sleeping. I know exactly the reason why I stopped sleeping with females.
Why? Tell us why.
Why? Yeah.
Well,
I'm curious about that. Why?
one reason being because I was gay, okay, and I was tired of lying to everybody about it. And two, because this one girl I did sleep with, true story. There was one girl I did sleep with. She didn't tell me that she liked freaky or erotic things, and she was on her period. And I don't go swimming in the Red Sea.
Ooh.
Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
I love.
Gosh!
Wait,
Oh, that is. I'm a female, and I think that's so gross. I think it's so gross when you are in that zone and somebody no.
I'm gay, but I really have an interest in sleeping with a woman. Like it's something that I really want to try. Like seriously, never had sex with a woman.
I actually have a true story. So, I'm pretty sure we all are on some type of dating app or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And this person messaged me yesterday. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Then she basically was like, she put in her bio that she's a trans woman. So I said, okay, cool, whatever. Then she said, I got something to tell you. So I'm like, okay, what? She's like, I'm actually a dyke.
Oh.
And she's like, I never had sex with a guy before, and I want you to take my virginity, even though I'm a dyke.
What?
So I was just like,
go off, sis. That's it.
Right, like I mean,
go off.
I'm not gonna lie to you. She's very attractive as a dyke. Like I find some dykes attractive. Like I'm weird, whatever. I just love people.
I'm
but
sorry.
The point is, it was like
dyke is not a good word. They don't like that word.
She called herself a dyke.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, so what would be the correct terminology? Because I'm curious.
Yes.
If you're not a femme, what would be the correct terminology?
Is a butch lesbian?
A butch.
Lesbian.
Well, butch and dyke both sound like ugly words.
No, Sky.
I thought that too, but she literally was like, "I'm a dyke," so I was like, "Okay, I guess that's the way to rephrase it." Like I don't know.
I don't know.
There's gay men are okay. They call themselves fags.
And bitches, right?
And
I thought fags was derogatory, like really derogatory to call someone.
I think fag is only accepted if it's among another fellow gay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like I would if I want to call myself that, but don't call me that.
Yeah,
we're gonna
got it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, don't say that shit around me, because if I hear, just don't let me hear it. Like, just the hint
So
of it.
what am I calling a female that's not a femme? That's not butch and dyke, because that's like
confused.
A lipstick lesbian.
Confused?
Why? That's so wrong.
Okay, my thing is that, see, I'm older. Okay, let me just go ahead and put that out there again. I'm old, and I'm not up to date with all these new fandangled terms. Them, and us, and it, and I don't get it. So I say confused.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you a better question. So Antoine is actually a trans woman, but Antoine is a trans woman.
Pretty girl with the blonde hair, short blonde hair right there, and the black jacket.
Right, but the issue. Let me finish speaking. But the issue that she has is, she explains to people just because she's a trans woman does not mean that she has to have surgery.
All right. Because, see, a trans woman can relate to being a woman, but they can't be a female. Two different things.
Okay, explain why.
Well, a woman has, the actual genitalia, okay? But a female can actually have birth. A female can have a period. Things that trans women can't have. And I dealt with this past weekend with my house family. I took a straight friend over to a LaBeija meeting, over to a LaBeija party, and Lord have mercy.
Oh, you gotta explain what LaBeija means. I know what it means, but they might know what it means. What does that mean?
I'm in the ballroom. I'm in the house of LaBeija. It's the first house to start.
It's a ballroom.
The ballroom.
Yeah.
Being posed.
So it's a house. It's a house. LaBeija is a house.
Yeah. The house.
Okay.
very first house that was started by Christian C Paige back in 1970 something. Like 70.
I don't know. I think trans women can feel feminine. I mean,
Yeah.
as they were born, they may not have their periods and they may not have, be able to give birth, but their feeling is all feminine. They're they have that feminosity about them.
I don't deny that. I don't.
So we may have to restart this Zoom because it's supposed to end in 3 minutes. So we might have to just restart it and then attach it to Brie or whatever.
Yeah.
But Antoine, before we cut off, do you have anything you want to say?
I mean,
I agree with Desiree more, but everyone has their opinion, So, I mean, I get where he's coming from.
I only said it because I have friends that say I can relate to the trans woman experience, and I'm like, no, you can't. Just like she can't your experience.
Right.
That's the main thing. But I know that in the Black community, the females just all of a sudden they just have a problem with the girls, and the girls just aren't. And that's just their thing. But
why is that? Like that's the common question that I think everybody wants to know.
I'm gonna wait till after.
I can see why guys are really attracted to Christian. He has this macho stuff about him.
Exactly right.
I'm ready to call him Papi Chulo and stuff. Like he's got this wow thing about him. Yep, I get it. I get it.
Are we allowed to hit on the guests?
I'm not hitting on a guest. I'm just saying that he has this machismo about him. This macho, grab me, baby, macho stuff going on.
I'm good.
Yes.
Don't give Manny permission because he'll do it every guest after.
No, do not try to put me on
every single guest.
No.
Jealous, Josh.
No.
Okay, so all right, so tell us a little bit about yourself. We got to start over with that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I already introduced that you are an artist. You know, what type of music you do, etc.
Okay, I'm also a singer. Mainly, I'm a singer first. I'm a singer, songwriter, vocal arranger, and producer first. I've been singing all of my life. My family has been singing and been in the industry all of their lives. So I went to school for it. I started playing instruments in 6th grade. I played them all the way through college. I have an associate. I have a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, 2 associate's degrees, and 13 certifications, all in.
Oh wow!
Wow,
that's impressive.
Okay, so what artists have you sung for or did vocal training with? Because I know you do.
I do. I started out singing background vocals for Twinkie Clark and Shirley Caesar. Our pastor Shirley Caesar from the gospel world, if anybody knows that. The Clark sisters, if you know who the Clark sisters are. I've sung the last one of them. I've sung for Kirk Franklin. I've vocal coached Ariana Grande. I've vocal coached Camila Cabello. I've done Normani.
Oh wow! Damn.
You better go off.
Yeah.
I was doing Tory.
Wow.
But I'm working with some rappers. I've done some ghostwriting for people. I have written some songs that have made it to the charts, but because I did a bad deal, I can never get the credit.
Okay.
So let me ask you something. If you had to ask anyone of the LGBTQ community a question because you were curious about, what would it be?
I want to know what lesbians do in the bed. Okay, really? What do they? Because I know people, they have a inserted. You know what I'm saying? But they don't. So what do they do?
They can have a strap too.
Attachment. Is that kind of bull?
1 to 100, it's done.
It's okay. Well, my thing is when I see a girl sucking on a plastic thingy, but the girl that's got it on, why is she acting like she feel it? What makes her do that?
It's your imagination. It's
not only the imagination. Don't you get off when you know your partner's getting off? Doesn't that turn you on?
That's very true.
I mean,
there are people that get. I
hear somebody moaning, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm making you moan. It's like, yes.
What a mood. I think it's a lot more about physical touch too. It's very.
It's again, it's plastic. It's not real. She moaning. So is she getting played with down there too?
I think there's a stimulation. I
she
think
could
there's
be
some.
she could be getting sticked with the plastic and played with the ass. Like it could happen. It could happen. Like, you know, the hook. It could happen.
Deal that don't get along.
Happen.
I got if you I teach too. I teach as well, and so I have some students that are doing some training, but they're online, so I'm watching them.
Got it. But yeah, lesbians do pretty much everything that anybody else does sexually, you know, from the 69 to like sticking to licking to pinching to whatever you into.
I mean, so before we left and went to commercial break, we were talking about the trans ladies, trans women, and I wanted to make sure I clarify something real quick because I don't want these women or any woman thinking that I do not agree with them on this stance. I do, however, I just wish that everybody would take a step back and look at somebody else's experience first before trying to jump in on something or say that we need everybody to support us, and at least give somebody a chance to try to understand where you're coming from. I do not speak for all the trans people, but I do say that I know that some stuff is being kept secret and it needs to be wrong.
Okay. Well, that was good. What about you guys? If you guys, you know,
I'm sorry.
Anton, Emmanuel, Daquan, if you had somebody in the LGBTQ community that you can ask a question because you're curious about it, what would it be?
I don't know.
I have a question in general. Like, I would ask, like, what's your opinion on, you know, sexual fluidity, like, or like fluidity and sexuality, like, because it's something that's like being brought up a lot, especially like in like TV shows, like freaking that HBO show that has Zendaya on it. Like, it was literally like a topic in the show. Like, they literally said that like somebody isn't, you know, just gay or just straight. Like, it fluctuates based off that person. And I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I feel that like somebody can, you know, like their, you know, their sexual orientation can change throughout time, and there's no problem with that. So
I agree.
I can agree with that. I think sexuality changes for some people. You know, why not?
I think I started out. I was going to be a trans woman at one time. True story.
Really?
Yeah, didn't I tell you that on the show?
Mm-mm.
No, Secrets was a week after you. So yeah, I wanted to be a trans woman when I was like 18, and I actually went through the process of starting it. I actually won a pageant as a female, but without the hormones, of course. And then I realized at that moment that I didn't want to be a woman. There was too much shit that they had to do, and the shit that the trans women have to go through. I commend them, honey, because my mother was, you know, my gay mother was a trans woman, and I helped dress her for years. So I commend them. Because I could never do that. I would never walk a mile in their shoes, ever. But I did want to be one. I think it was for the wrong reasons, though.
What about you, Daquan? You're the creator of this show. Like, if you're somebody in the LGBTQ community, you could ask them one question, what would it be?
I don't know if I have a question for anybody in the community, but I do have a general question that speaks to everybody. And my question would just be, if somebody have one gay encounter, does that make them gay?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, some people feel that way, like, oh, because a guy or a girl had an experience, that means that that's more likely what they are.
What about multiple? What about multiple? Like, if you've had multiple and they're like, I still don't want to identify. But even this,
if you have multiple, then I think that you kind of are. But again, for example, let's say if a straight man decides to date a trans woman, does that make him gay, or is he still technically straight? I would think he's straight because that is a trans woman. But
I think
other people would say that he is gay because the trans woman was identified or was born as a cisgender man. So, I mean, how do y'all feel about that?
I agree with you.
I agree with you a little bit. It's just confusing at times because I don't know how to classify trans women or trans men at that. Are they straight? Are they considered straight? Or are they considered gay still?
I mean, look at
I think it depends on the trans person because.
Anton, what do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry?
How do you feel about that? Are trans women gay or are trans women straight or what's?
I mean, look at Caitlyn Jenner. She transitioned to a woman and she still likes women. So she's considered lesbian. You know,
Okay.
so it's like you could just have to like, I guess, think of it that way. Like trans women, they can be still straight, or if they don't only change because they like men. They change because how they feel on the inside. So, you know, like for example, perfect example, Caitlyn Jenner. She changed because that's how she felt on the inside, but she still continues to date women to this day.
Her sexual preference didn't change.
Yeah, her sexual preference never changed.
So she's considered to be.
I'm sorry?
She's considered to be a woman, though, right? That would be her
Yeah,
sex.
she prefers to be a woman, but just because she wants to be a woman doesn't mean she has to like men. She can still like what she liked before when she was a man, because, you know, she dated Kris Jenner. All her kids still call her dad, but she on the inside, she feels like a woman.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm gonna be honest. Like, I respect that, you know, she's a trans woman. I respect that she dates women. That's fine. But I find it confusing when, as you said, she's a trans woman, but her kids are still calling her dad. Isn't that kind of confusing to y'all?
So that is kind of confusing. I get where you're coming from, but I feel like she does that to respect her kids.
Right. I think they already had that thought of mom and dad in their head.
Exactly.
And they were raised that way. So even though they know their dad has always been a woman inside, it's still their dad.
Yeah, so I feel like at the end of the day, she's doing it for her children.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that was my biggest thing. Like I said, I respect everybody. I love everybody. I get the idea. But when they came down, because I think I seen the episode that when they said dad, I'm just like, but isn't that technically the mom now? Like, you know what I mean?
Like they say, the person's experience. Because my gay mother, I always call her mom, but her mother would never, and her family would never call her a woman. They would always refer to her as him or he or stuff. But as far as I was concerned, she was a woman because how I met her, that's how I knew her. Even sisters like Sasha and Raquel, I met them when they were transitioning. So I now see them as females.
For me, what I don't understand and what I would ask someone in the LGBTQ community is non-binary. Like, I understand if you're a gay man, if you're a lesbian, I understand if you're a trans woman, if you're a trans man, I understand if you're bisexual, pansexual, I understand though. What I don't understand is when you're not choosing a sexuality to identify yourself with.
That has been the hardest thing. That has been the hardest thing for me to like process, because like with, you know, being trans or being gay or bisexual, it seems pretty like cut and dry. Trans woman, trans man, bisexual, gay, lesbian, where non-binary, there's so many different ways that somebody can identify. It gets extremely confusing for me. I definitely have the same question.
No, that's actually a very... Sorry, Christian.
No, I'm just saying, I know people that identify as a dog. I have a man that identifies as a girl, but he look like a boy. I don't get it. It's confusing.
I don't get non-binary. Emmanuel, help me out here.
Because I'm not non-binary, and
it's kind of hard because I have non-binary friends too. Yeah,
I think it just like comes down same thing like with with sexuality. It's just like it depends on what they identify as, and how they project it themselves. Like, I know somebody who is non-binary, so I thought somebody who was non-binary would wear, pretty much like any type of androgynous clothing, but no, he does. Like, they don't. It's essentially they still wear the same things. It's just that they don't want to be limited by gender. They don't want to be limited by how gender limits people. You know, like in some workplaces, women have to wear heels, women have to wear skirts, or stuff like that. And that's kind of what created non-binaryism. It's the fact that they don't want to be put in a box just because of a gender. They would rather just not identify as either because they don't see the need for it.
Do we take it on an individual basis? Like, it's not like we can't group it. We gotta be like, hey, what's your preference? Let me ask you the questions to get the answers for you.
Well, it's like a job application. You know how a job application asks if you're a female, male, or they ask if you're a black person, a white person, a Latino person, a Hispanic. Like, I understand not wanting to check female, not wanting to check Latina because they don't want to be just categorized because of that. I get that, but it's a little hard for me with the non-binary. While I have a lot of respect for people who identify that, it's still a little hard for me to kind of completely understand it.
You know what's crazy? So I just took another COVID testing a couple days ago. You had to fill out female, male, and the bottom said non-binary.
Yeah.
I took mine last week.
That's
It
good
happens.
that the world is opening up a little bit.
It's here in New York City as well. Like in New York City, like non-binary is an option, and even there's sexual harassment training, and like for workforces, it literally goes over the topic of people who identify as non-binary with real non-binary people, even trans people, everything. Because just what Josh says, like we have to respect that person's individual, how they identify as.
That's
Because
good.
again,
I think that the world is opening up a little bit more, and that makes me happy, because there was a time where that didn't happen.
Because at the end of the day, just like Christian said, like he's a bottom, and just because the way he is, people assume he's a top. Like because and that's what bottom. No, I know, but that's what creates.
No, we're not shaming you. We're just saying.
But it goes with what Anton said, because Anton said like bottoms they're supposedly more feminine. You know what I mean? So that's what the society says, that they're feminine, and tops are more masculine. And that's why I'm just like, if I think about that theory, I'm looking at Christian, I'm like, oh yeah, he's a top. He's like super cute and super papi chulo mode going on here. So I think that, you know what I mean? So,
I feel like that goes back to like heterosexual gender norms though. It's like the top has to be the masculine and like the manly one. And people will have asked me that before too, being in a relationship. They'd be like, yo, so you're the man, right? And I'd be like, we're both men. Like that.
Thank you. Because I think that's like the most dumbest thing you can ask a gay couple. Or,
different times, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, I'm not with this whole non-binary thing. Or I'm not with just ask the question. Don't be assuming that because I look like a top that I am one. Okay? I don't normally go up and speak to dudes. If I moved to New York, I have been doing that because they obviously think I'm a top. And when I do go speak to them, they be like, well, ain't you a top?
Why are you assuming?
Right.
I mean, I have started topping since I moved to New York City. I'm not going to try to enjoy it as much. I hate to get a thing, but I have done it.
Only through and through.
See, lesbians are tops and bottoms. Lesbians both.
I mean, wait, what about this whole the whole like pillow princess kind of thing? Isn't that like strictly a bottom?
Yes.
Pillow princess thing?
Or a pillow biter. Pillow biter.
All right, like a pillow princess is
it's a very like anachronistic term, like for like somebody who bottoms, like a pillow biter or a pillow princess.
I think when you only play one role sexually, you're selfish. To me, that's being a little selfish.
How is that selfish?
Why? To me, it is because, like, listen, if you eat, then you need to be eaten back. Like, that's what it is.
You know what?
If you suck dick, then you need to get your dick sucked too. Like, what's up with that? Like, come on now. Like,
there are such things. No, wait a minute. There are terms called oral tops and stuff like that.
Right.
Well,
that ain't really a thing. Okay, let me tell you about it. Okay, first of all,
I'm just saying, people do go by that.
There's tops, bottoms, and then they have this thing called burst now. Okay, we'll put that
Verse
right
top, verse bottoms, verse. Yeah.
Burst bottom ain't nothing but the bottom. Okay, burst top ain't nothing but the bottom. Oral top.
He's annoying.
Like
that's not true. Verse top means that you do both, but you prefer the top more.
Because I consider myself to be more verse top,
but you prefer to bottom more. That's what it means.
A verse top is 90%. Well, 85% top.
95%. I say 95.
But you know what? That's it. But no, but the terms
once a year I be in the mood, and that's that 5%. But that's it.
Right.
But Christian, the terms like they do make sense because I've met people that are literally like, no, I'm a straight this. I don't do this. I don't do that. Like dead ass, and it's just like, okay, like bye. Like
I don't do is eat ass. Now everything else can go on.
You missing out. You missing.
That's like the G-spot for men. That's like the G-spot.
Like you try it.
No, Desiree, you brought up a good ass point because like I'm a verse, and like when I am with somebody, I'm not gonna like if you're limiting like what you'll do or what I need to do to you, it's done because I'm not that type of person.
That's
like
my
everything has to be reciprocated. If I'm doing it, you're
yes,
doing
that's
it.
how
Period.
I feel.
And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Have a
I'm
good
going
day.
rodeo, so are you. Like, what the hell? No, no.
If I
Nah, it's all right for me.
okay, I will go and do it.
I don't want somebody that's gonna be like, I don't want you to do this to me, because what if that turns me on when I'm doing it to you? Like,
Exactly.
I don't want you to be like, don't do. No, let's just do it. Let's
See, but I'm not because I'll eat all the ass. I don't want it done to me. Like that's just not. I said I'll eat all the ass, but I don't want it done to me. So
Oh,
like,
listen, hold
I
on,
don't like
Josh.
it.
Why is that, Josh? Like, why don't you try it? I mean,
Let's
pleasure of
break that
giving-
down.
That
Let's
pleasure
break
that
that down.
giving is the same pleasure you should be receiving.
I get pleasure from giving. I like that feeling of giving it and just like that
Josh, stay where
tongue, whatever. But when I get it, I'm like, it just feels like wet on my skin. Like,
Well,
just,
maybe you haven't got it done correctly done to you.
Nope, Josh.
Your boyfriend ain't doing it right.
Joshua, I'm texting him right now.
I told him,
Do
he's
not.
strictly about
Pass me that number, Emmanuel. I'm gonna call him.
No. I love him, so
I'm
I
gonna
would
take him
never
out
do
to
that.
lunch.
I love him. I could never do that to him.
I'm telling you, don't cross over. That's how I became a verse bottom. Somebody can like, try it one time.
But
Now
you
they
tried it though. You tried it, and you do it occasionally, right?
That's that 5%.
It's a yes or no answer, sir.
That's that
It's not
5%.
it's a yes or no answer.
Okay, well, yeah.
But that's what we're trying to point out. Like in the community, there are dudes that are just straight up. I will not do this. I will not do that. Don't even bother bringing it up.
Anton, for as a transsexual woman, is there something that you're just like no, or that you think in your community is like a no sexually?
I guess it depends if you're dating that person. If you're serious with that person, then I'm like, if I'm serious with someone, I'm open to doing almost everything. And then if I'm just,
Okay.
And if I'm dating someone or just like hooking up with someone, I'm definitely restricted.
Okay,
Yeah, well-
I know a trans man, and he's like, he's just like, there's certain parts of his body that he hasn't, like, doesn't match his personality, so to speak, and those things are off limits to him sexually. They're just, you can't touch them, you can't look at them. You got to make sure that, and that's kind of hard, I think, sexually, when you see something there and you just want to lick it, bite it, but you can't. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's hard.
Especially like you be in the mood, and sometimes that's your thing.
Yeah, like,
I
what if
get
it
that.
slips?
Yeah.
What if you
And
have
I
it by mistake? Like, what's that? That's hard.
I feel like for a hookup, that communication's hard because sometimes people don't talk about that when they're hooking
You
up.
also don't want to offend your lover, either.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard. So that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Anton.
Yes.
Right. So what I learned from this is that I gotta try eating ass again from my perspective.
Yo, didn't we have this conversation earlier today, Josh?
I guess.
You guys had the ass eating conversation and nobody called.
Yes. Sorry. Next time.
We
What is that, guys?
The question was like, if you know how to eat ass, does that automatically mean that you got some skills to eat pussy?
Yeah,
That's what
I ate back in the day.
I
I
don't
guess
think
if your
so.
tongue game is a tongue game, then maybe.
Because I said my ass.
I done both, and I've
I
been
don't
told I'm
think
good
so.
at both. So I don't know. But
Okay.
I don't think it automatically translates because, I do both as well. But there's one thing you're doing when it's a woman, and there's something completely different when you're doing with a man. With the woman, it's a little more complicated in the sense that there's several different things that you have to do. With the guy, it's pretty much one thing. Because unless you've got the tongue of a freaking anteater, you are not hitting that G-spot with the guy.
You're welcome.
But there are some guys, and they
No!
That's hilarious.
Like,
I mean, look, if y'all aren't doing anything on Wednesday mornings, please tune into my show. Since I'm a show, I have a show every Wednesday morning called Naked and Coffee, and it's an
I've been on
adult,
the show.
he's dope talk show every Wednesday morning. We just talk about different things.
Okay.
right, I'll definitely tune in.
Yeah, definitely.
And you said it's a podcast?
Huh?
Wednesday at what time? I'm in Vegas.
But Wednesday at your time, you be asleep. So, 7:30 is 7:30 here on the East Coast.
No, I'll be awake. It's 10:30 there. Here.
Is it 7:30 a.m.?
Wouldn't it be like?
Oh no, I'll be sleeping.
4?
Christian, what platform is it on?
It's on Facebook, and we're getting ready to migrate to IG and YouTube.
Okay.
Awesome.
Heard it.
Cool. We'll look forward to watching it.
Thanks. I hope you like it. It is a graphic, and it is very much explicit.
Totally my
So
type.
Were we not explicit today?
It's curiosity every day on his talk show all the time. It's top 10.
Yeah. This show,
Watching it. You guys should watch it too, everybody.
I'm going to have send everybody a link so they can see your episode because it's still up.
All right, let's do that.
Wow.
I was on it. Yeah, we
I
talked about
forgot
how
there's
we,
a message session. I don't know how
so
to see
shall
that.
we talk about? We can talk a little bit about it. So basically, on the episode I was on, we talked about how the night before me and him went to the park because they posted on Twitter that they were going to be having fun in the park. So we were going to be curious.
Wait,
And
what?
A lot of people. It was a lot of people outside having fun in that park.
In the middle of a pandemic?
In the middle of the pandemic. So look,
We had our masks on. We just wanted to see like if people really was gonna like.
Followers ask for a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Like they want
And they
I will
really
go
were getting down in that part.
If I haven't done it, I will go and do it. If it's within safety precautions. Some shit ain't safe, but I still have done it.
Likewise.
What park was this at? Wait a minute. Oh my God, where did you scroll at? What park is this at?
Send that Twitter handle. Send that Twitter handle real quick.
Oh,
My Twitter handle. Well, I'm not giving y'all my. Well, you know what? It don't matter.
No, the one
I
that posted
know
about the
in
park. The one
Washington
that
Heights and the Cloisters is that type of park after a certain
The
time.
one that-
What park?
It was at Washington Heights Park. It was at St. Nicholas Park in Harlem.
Yeah,
There was one in Queens. There was like it was all different ones.
I get
Oh,
it.
y'all got locations.
I'm too scared for that crap, man.
Just walk from
You get caught. Ooh.
And it was like a lot of people. Like I thought it was gonna be some bullshit. It was like at least 30 people at the park just getting down.
Yo, there's honestly a park by me on Long Island where like if I'm talking to somebody like on like Grindr or Growler, Kennedy Park, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on at this park?
everything.
Exactly that.
You can't.
Crazy.
I'm too scared to do something in a park. I'm way too paranoid.
I've been through every.
I know. I ain't saying I was gonna do anything. I just wanted to see. I was curious. I was
Daquan,
quiet, and
you
I'm
just
like,
wanted
"Our
to
park
see.
We don't have many parks
I
in
went with
Vegas.
me and him went. We went to go
That's how the
see it. I was
casino
so
girl.
amazed.
Yes.
And he. I'm like,
I'm like
dressing
a
all
parking.
black.
I'm like a parking lot kind of guy, I guess. Or like the Chinese buffet like area. I don't know.
No,
China. I'm not going to that buffet, sir. No.
Like the Macy's fitting room. Like I don't know.
I'm like a Macy's.
I mean, who has ever did that before though?
What, Macy's fitting room?
Right, like a clothing fitting room or something.
A lot of people.
You
I
see
haven't
it.
though.
Penny's, Target.
Right.
The Target
Retail
bathroom
sex
is the
is a
spot.
thing.
I just feel like that's what your 20s are for. Honestly.
No, retail sex is definitely a thing. Air miles, the retail sex is a thing. It's a
Hey,
thing.
that's what your 20s are for. Like what?
I've messed around in a Best Buy bathroom.
Who haven't?
Was it put in a place?
That is crazy.
Barnes and Noble.
It didn't last long though. It was not because people kept walking in. I was just like, no.
Barnes and Noble.
That's a Barnes and
That's a
Noble.
nice
Listen.
calm place.
She got her reading
That's
on.
That is BBQ.
Yes.
BBQs.
With a little umbrella drink.
Exactly.
The one on 23rd Street.
23rd.
Oh my god, the gay one.
That's the one. I said
gay-
either 23rd or the
I've
one
never been. I always wanted to go. One of those big
The gay
umbrella
BBQ?
drinks.
That's-
You never been to
BBQs.
I've never been to any BBQs ever.
Really?
You've been
What's a BBQ?
That's because you're from Vegas. I forgot.
You've been deprived of Texas size. Like seriously. Texas
And I
size.
think there's a BBQs on Long Island too.
There
There
is.
is.
Them Henny coladas be slapping.
Oh my God, don't they? I be getting the Bahama.
That one too.
Mama.
Anton, it's a barbecue restaurant, but I think it's only in New York City.
It's a
Okay.
cliche. It's a cliche restaurant. Let's just put it that way.
So back to our show, Curiosity. What did we wrap up today? What did we learn today?
A lot.
I say
That's the
ask. If you're curious about something, ask somebody. Ask.
There you
Don't
go.
assume,
Facts.
just ask.
Facts.
I learned
Facts.
in the bedroom, be open to everything, even though I'm just on top, but be open to everything for other people. You know,
Try everything once or 3 times,
Oh.
I guess.
I've just my
Better spread them butt cheeks then.
my motto. I'll try everything once. Don't mean I'm gonna do it again. So
I learned that a park after dark is essentially a cheap motel room.
you know,
There you go.
What'd
Same
you learn,
difference
Anton?
I'm about to
What'd you learn, Anton?
I learned about non-binary because I didn't really know about non-binary either,
Me too.
and to be more open in the bedroom.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, I think definitely if you're curious, just ask. You know, if you have an experience, try it before you mock it. You know,
Yes.
don't assume because you're probably gonna make a bigger ass of yourself than just asking the question. Makes it a lot easier. And don't discriminate because you just never know what's
I agree.
gonna be more fun.
amen. But I mean,
Alrighty.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So yeah, so this is a wrap of the Common Ground. I hope y'all enjoyed episode 1, and tune in again for next week for episode 2. So yeah,
Thank you
y'all
guys.
later. Thank you, Christian, for coming on. It was
Thank you,
amazing.
Christian.
Thank you, Christian.
guys for having me so much.
Hi, nice meeting you.
If you guys get a chance, follow me on
Oh
Instagram.
yeah, make sure y'all stream his music. It is on iTunes. It is on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify.
On Tidal, it's everywhere you can find it. So
Just make sure
Daquan,
that
share his Insta.
Wait, what's your artist name?
we gotta make sure that we get all of his social media information. So when we put up the credits of the show, we can actually put all that social media on the credits so people can, you know, who are curious, follow him.
Yeah,
it's Christian, XTIANAKIPAIGE. Christian.
What?
I'm gonna need that in writing. I'm gonna need that in
For
writing.
real. That was like a cheer right there.
INAKIPAIGE.
And for those of you who kept watching, we're gonna make sure that Josh has sex with a girl sometime between season 1 and season 10.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, that is a complete lie. Complete lie.
We'll
babe.
find you a lesbian.
I'm just gonna.
And for
Can I
this,
put that on the credits of the show? You think
We'll
Josh
find
is hot?
you a
If you don't
lesbian.
mind, he's in a serious relationship. DM him.
Ladies, he is more than willing.
You're not
I already
lying.
knew that.
And he tosses salad.
Yes.
Right.
Know what you don't down here. That's a tongue twister.
Sit on his face, bitch. There you go.
And all good fun. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is a wrap, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Doesn't matter who you are, 'cause baby, you're a star. Even though we're different, we share common ground. Doesn't matter who you are, trans, 'cause baby, you're a star. Even though we're different, non-binary, we share common ground.